So I am leaving a voiceover audition. I am wearing the same clothes that I did for my earlier audition, but I took my hair down because it was tight and uncomfortable, and they didn't need to see me anyway. But it was one of the strangest auditions I've had, maybe because I'm not used to it. I'm used to voiceover for commercials where you can see beginning, middle, end product. I'm used to voiceover for narration where you're telling a story or painting a picture. I'm used to, what else? Voiceover where like it's an announcer and they're announcing a product or sale or something that's direct. This was part of a film, and the plan is to dub the foreign language film into English. All I got was one page, and there's dialogue between three characters. I knew which character I was supposed to read for, but it seemed disjointed, and I read it over and over and over the last day and a half since I got it, and I still couldn't quite piece it together. So I walk into the room, and it's one of these locations where they're casting several things at the same time. So, and it's a place I've never been to before. So it's my turn. They call me, first of all, they call me in. I hear my name. I'm sitting around the corner because that's the only place to sit. And then I hear my name called, and I walk into the area where the voice is coming from, and two doors have opened. And there's a man standing next to each door. And I don't know which one called my name. So I'm looking at one, I'm looking at the other, and they kind of look at me like, no, you're not in this one. And hello, you're supposed to come in this one. I'm like, I didn't know. So I go in, and it's a young guy. I don't know who he is. I even tried to ask him his name, and he finally gave me a first name. And I said, can you tell me what's going on here? And he tried to tell me the history of the scene, like what happened like 10 years ago. That was already in the script. I knew what happened 10 years ago. I didn't need the history. I needed to know what's happening now because the dialogue just wasn't flowing. After a moment, he looks at my script, he goes, oh, you're reading the wrong one. Here, let me give you the right one. I'm like, oh shit, I got the wrong one. So he ends up giving me the exact same script, except his is highlighted and mine wasn't. I read it over, I'm like, oh, it's a new script. I'm like, no, it's the same script. He's like, well, no, you were reading the one for so. It was very confusing. I had the exact same script. So finally, he's not a director. I tried to ask him what was going on so I knew where I was coming from. So finally I asked him, I said, is there an urgency to this? The character is described as somebody who's very cool, calm, and collected. Do you need an urgency? Would you like her a little more? I don't know what direction. Basically, he said, we just want to see what you bring. So read however you want to, and then if you get a call back, you'll actually get to see the scene on screen, and then you can play to what the scene is actually about. I'm like, that's weird. So they're not going to tell me what it's about until they've hired me. But wouldn't it help my audition if I knew what it was about? So I do it. I think I nailed it. I'm a good actor. I don't know if I'm right, but I did it. And I'm just kind of glad to be home because in between my first audition and this one, I had an old high school friend call me out of the blue. I haven't seen her in so many years, since high school. And we met up for lunch. And so I had to drive way out to where she was staying near her hotel. And then I drove back for this voiceover. And it's very, very hot on a September afternoon in Hollywood. And I'm heading home.